Alrighty, guys. This is a view that I'm going to try to look at the camera because this is a view that you guys not normally get to see me at. Normally, it's my hands. I'm looking down at whatever I'm doing with the camera off to the side, and I'm shooting the breeze with you guys and talking about chainsaws and porting and all that. So this is kind of a unique video. I'm going to try to look at the camera, but it's very, very hard. I don't know, I might have to put, if I'm going to keep this up in the future, I might have to actually put like a little something to like pull my focus to like stare at, or maybe clip some notes below the camera there or something so I can read them off you. I've got some stuff over here that I'm going to make another video on. I'm going to try something different. I do not have the saw that I actually want to talk about today. Those that know me know that I have had, well, I don't know where they're at right now, but you guys know it. You've seen it in the past. I've got a stack of papers like yay tall that I've had Dino Joe pull countless saws. I think I'm close to 3,000 videos. I think I've got like 3,000 videos on there, and I'm willing to bet 2/3 of them were dyno pulled. Saws that were on the dyno. Joe has worked with me. Super awesome dude. I love to have him as a friend. He probably gets a little tired of my shenanigans because typically before I started taking care of my dad, when I would go over there, I would take 10 or 12 saws with me and completely smoke an afternoon or a whole day. I have mad respect for him and his craft and what he does. The amount of time that you guys see, might see a little dyno pull, like a 30 or 15-second clip of one of my saws on the pull. What you don't see is the setup time, adjusting the chain, adjusting the little thing on the thing to get the saw just setting right. You don't see the time it takes to warm up a saw. Typing, there's lots of typing in and putting the info of the saw in there, and then logging it all, and then sometimes he puts up with me tweaking and adjusting on the carburetor there, so we can, so I can see if I can get a better pull or not. Sometimes he's nice and lets me borrow his tools and stuff, and I can pull the rewind and pop the flywheel and advance it, retard it, stock timing it, and it's just awesome to have a friend that's into what I'm into, that has a dyno that lets me do that. I've killed many of Joe's afternoons and days over there, and I greatly appreciate it, Joe. If you guys aren't subscribed to Dino Joe, go over and give him a sub. He deserves it. My other 261, this is my 6 horsepower one. This is my taper top build that I pushed it pretty hard. I was trying to get some juice out of it. I wanted some good mojo out of it, and I suspect now that this thing's got some runtime on it, it would put up a little bit more than 6, because literally every time I run it, it's stronger. But I've got this 261 right here that has a busted crank, and the rest of it's sitting in a box over there. And I did some wheeling and dealing and got that other 261 that's in really nice shape that's currently sitting at Joe's that you guys saw the test cuts. I showed the porting. I talked my porting theory, discussed a few things on that video, and then on I ran it against this one in a video, and I got pretty good gains out of it. Now that saw, I knew I was going to be selling it to a tree service, firewood or something. I didn't want to wring its neck, and how do I put this? I've been running a YouTube, or I've had a YouTube channel 9 years now, I think. I think it's going on 9 years. I guess when we hit 10 years, we might have to do some sort of a 10-year giveaway to celebrate how long that I've been a YouTuber. But through those 9 years, in all my life, I've never seen so much controversy over a power tool. It's got me completely baffled. I don't I don't understand it. It's nuts. Whether all the controversy with blowdown, short exhaust roof, long exhaust roof, cut the chamber, not cut the chamber, muffler mod, no muffler mod, pipe, no pipe, what chain, what size rim, air filter, no air filter, velocity stack, timing mod, no timing mod. It's absolutely crazy that there's so much controversy. And then I don't know if you guys have noticed it or not, but I'm up to just past 31,000 subscribers. Thank you guys very much. As the channel grows, how do I word this? As the channel grows, I guess so do shitty comments, especially in the short world, the world of the shorts. That 400, oh my, that thing's a hoot to run, and it has been tested at 8.8 horse. I don't understand the controversy that saw stirs up. I know that one video is like over 4 million views, and I've had to deal with, oh, you're cutting rotten wood, or it's computer sped up. What's another one? The computer animated. That's not the sound the saw makes. The list goes on and on. Rotten wood, softwood. That's another. It's like, did my title say hardwood? You know, it's cutting white pine. A lot of racers test in white pine. That's one of my race saws. I just don't understand it. That saw's been debuted in oak, cherry, elm. It's cut poplar. It's cut white pine. It's cut spruce. It's cut hickory. You know, I've even cut petrified old red oak. In it never fails. Some idiot will make a comment, and I guess I've reached that point in YouTube where I'm tired of the dumbass comments or whatever. So just word to the wise: if you leave a shitty comment, I just click hide user, and then I don't have to see that again, and I don't have to worry about it. And the way I've had other people get mad with something about how the comment sections get stirred up sometimes. The two apps I use is YouTube Studio and then the normal YouTube app. I don't have my TV on, otherwise I'd show you. But it's just the normal icon on the phone where you just click on YouTube and it pops up, and then you type in whatever you're looking for and a video will pop up. In the normal YouTube app, I can go up and click that little bell thing. It'll have like a bunch of numbers on it, and I can click it, and it'll show me. I'm assuming it shows me different comments on different videos. If I'm in the YouTube Studio app, which if I'm responding to comments, that's the app that I use the most. That's the one where I make the video public or private. It's the one where I do the editing and change the the description of the video. It's where I add a description. But if someone says good job or whatever, and I give them the thumbs up and that little heart thing, the next time I open into that app, I can't see, or if someone asks me a question and I happen to catch it and I answer that comment, I don't see that comment again in that YouTube Studio app. It's gone. And if I don't remember what video that it was even in order for me to see that comment again, I gotta remember what that video was, click on it, and then scroll through the comments to find that comment again, and then click on it to see what the response was. I just, blame it on me. I'm not very good at navigating the YouTube thing. I sure shit know I can't freaking speed up my footage on, in fact, my editing, it's, you cut. There's two editors that I use. I use the phone editor, which I've figured out how, like on this video that I'm making here, I'm going to shrink I can click edit in the phone itself, and I can click on it, and I can slide one end or the other end, and I'm going to take out the part. Basically, I'm going to shrink the video down of me walking in front of this table, and then I'll click save. If my video gets cut off, or if I want to pause you guys and or stop the video and take a picture, I'll use UCut editor because I can click on that picture, and then I figured out how to stitch, you know, like put that picture or a different clip of a video. Like if I wanted to show this thing cutting or whatever, I could go through my SD card and find a video of that thing cut and shrink down in my other editor app, take that 15-second clip or whatever, and then I can put it in there. That's the extent of my editing ability. And then like thumbnails, I ain't figured out how any thumbnail that you've seen on my channel or really cool editing has been done by a friend, well, a couple friends. One of them, I don't know if they want to be named or not, but one of them used to do a lot of my editing and thumbnails. And then I kind of pester Smitty. Sometimes it's like, because my other friend, he's got a lot going on, and like if I'm curious of a side-by-side, I'll send in Facebook Messenger, I'll send, and I appreciate it, Smitty, for all the help that you do. I'll send, if I want to see a side-by-side, because I ain't figured out how to do a side-by-side, I will send Smitty 2 clips of a video, or sometimes 3, and then he'll put them up side by side and then send me that segment back, and then I can either upload that as a video or seed it into one of my other videos. So compared to what I was doing for video footage 9 years ago, I've come leaps and bounds. I still suck at it. I know I make shitty videos. I appreciate you guys putting up with my chainsaw shenanigans and stuff. I'm not a great filmer. I'm not a great editor. I'm not even a great saw builder. I tinker with these things and do things, and if you guys want to leave a shitty comment, I strongly recommend you don't, because I'm done with it. If you leave a shit comment, I'm close to just hiding the people that say, well, you're cutting softwood, or the wood's rotten, or another one that I get sick of too is, well, that saw's only 5 horse stock, blah 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 blah. They don't understand that I completely manipulated the entire running operation of the inside of that saw to achieve what I got. I've been accused of inflating numbers. When I take a saw to Joe, he pulls it. And if you don't think I've had my soul crushed at Joe's, that anybody that has ever went to Joe's and pulled their saw on the dyno, it's an eye-opening experience. It really is. I've took saws there that I thought was just going to be over the moon, and they make 5.5 horse. And it's like, but in my test cuts and timing and stuff like that, it's like, you know, the way they ran, I was expecting 7. And I'd get 5.5, and you know, and I'm pretty rock the table there. I don't need that. My good cylinder getting knocked onto the floor there. I've been humbled many times on Joe's dyno. Nothing's inflated about it. If you know, Joe pulls the saw, he prints out some. You know, if the saw done 12 or 13 pulls, sometimes he'll do an average. If things go well and we got a lot of saws to pull, we might only do 3 runs on each saw. If Joe has pulled 20 or more of a certain model saw, because he's about an hour and 20 minutes for me, I either have to ship the saw to him, or I got to drive an hour and 20 minutes, which I don't have a lot of time now dealing with Dad, and I have to take a saw over there and have him stock pull it. But man, I ate something and it keeps dislodging. When I have a stock saw pulled there, then I poured it, and then I come back and then pull it again. If he's done 15 or more stock pulls on a popular saw that he's built, because that's something that Joe offers as a nice service. I think some other porters might do it too, but they send them to Joe. Like they might, you know, get a stock run, port the saw, then have Joe pull it again, and then that way they can hand the dyno sheet to their customers or whatever. And I think Joe does that on every single build. And then sometimes somebody will send him one with a muffler mod, and then the stocks, that stock pull might be skewed a little bit compared to 10 other ones that never had a muffler mod. So there's different, and I think he puts little notes in there, you know, stock pull, muffler mod, or whatever, so you can see the differences. But I don't inflate my numbers. Joe don't inflate my numbers. I've had him pull stuff, and I've been soul crushed, and I've also had him pull stuff and be like, holy shit, that, you know, like when I pulled that 9.3 horse 461, or I didn't pull it, Joe pulled it. When Joe pulled that for me, that was the first 461 that I've ever had pulled, and I tried to wring that saw's neck. That's my get-together saw. It goes to races, it goes to get-togethers. I've made you guys test cut videos on it. There's nothing inflated about it. That saw's an absolute monster. It's 9.3 horse. It's a, you know, and I've been in that twice. If you guys watch through the video footage on that, the first time I built it, I wasn't. It didn't have that feel I was after when I built that. So it come right, you know. And I'm sure if I had took that to Joe's, it would have put up a less desirable pull then. But I had my hand dyno. It's like I wasn't happy with it, and you guys have seen it probably 100 times. Where if I'm not happy with something, I'm back in it. You know, I don't. Some things I don't. If it's super risky to do, I don't show you guys. I tell you what I did, but I don't show it because as the channel's growing, I might do something to a cylinder that is major risky with very, very high percentage of me effing it up, and then it's no good. And then if it happens to turn out to be a good result, I end up getting like a sweet result or whatever. And then I've had other people try things that I've done, screw their cylinder up, and then be mad at me because they saw it on my video and tried it after their saw up, and then they're mad about it. So if it's, you know, super duper risky, sometimes I'll tell you what I did, but I don't show it. And sometimes some of the things I do is downright dangerous on how I'm achieving what I'm doing, and I don't want somebody to get hurt. I would feel horrible if someone tried one of my methods of doing something that I do that's sketchy, and they ripped a finger off or busted their hand, or God forbid got wadded up in the lathe and ripped their arm off or something. I would feel horrible. You know, when you guys see whatever I'm doing on my machines, take in mind that if you're trying to duplicate what I'm doing, do it at your own risk. Because, you know, if I'm stupid and I get wadded up in my machine and I lose a finger, I look at it as, well, I guess I didn't need that. That's my fault. You know, and I've had stuff spit out of lathes at me and hit me. I've been wound up in lathes. It's not fun. And at a young age, you learn pretty quick on how to get away with doing risky stuff for the most part. Sooner or later, it's just like cutting trees. Sooner or later, if you're doing enough risky stuff, sooner or later it bites you. And I'm prepared to get bit. That's how that goes. But I have never inflated a dyno run. I know for whatever reason it seems like I've got a bullseye on my back. Everybody wants to either run my builds down or say I can't build a saw. I've never once said that I could build a saw good. I take you guys on my journey on what I'm doing with a saw. That's how that goes. But I've gotten way off subject on this. Speaking of inflated dyno pulls and percentages, that's been called into question over the years. I think it was called into question three years ago. I think there was another one about a year ago, and then fairly recently. And I don't know. I think some of these other channels and stuff that are doing this, I really think they're just trying to stir up drama because they're not getting a lot of traction on their channel, and I think they just like stirring up drama. I try to keep it off my channel. If someone's bashing me or whatever. I just it's not going on my channel. I'm not, I'm not gonna, I think sometimes they really want to try to get me to mention them on channel, and I just ignore it. What's that old, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words won't hurt me. So I don't care if someone don't like me. I don't give a shit. I show what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. I try to give you guys theories on why I do what I'm doing, and that I built that mild built 261 because I reached out to another gentleman, and he has a dyno as well. I'm really enjoying his channel. Super cool dude. His name's Mark, and he built himself a dyno. And when I talked to him, I says, well, hell, I'll send you one of my super sporty, nasty 4910s, and you can pull it. That way I can kind of compare it to Joe's and just get more data for my information. And he's like, well, how do you word that? He's like, for one, he said he didn't know if his dyno would handle one of my super rowdy saws. And then the second reason, he was worried about tuning, because different, if you ship a saw somewhere else and the altitude's different, weather's different, sometimes you gotta tune it. And then I'm like, all right, I says, well, how about an M-tronic saw? I says, I have a stock one. So forget what day it was maybe a month ago, maybe not quite a month ago. I went over to Joe's and I took my bone stock 261 that I was trying to sell. I had it on Marketplace. Boy, I hate selling crap on there. But I had it on Marketplace. It wasn't, I only wanted $450 for it. They're almost like $700 to buy. The thing ran good. It was almost in as good a shape as this one, and I couldn't move it. I even wanted to trade it off, and I'm like, when I was talking to Mark, I'm like, well, shit, right there's the perfect candidate. So when I went to Joe's, I had Joe pull that bone stock, nothing done to it at all, bone stock 261. And then Joe was nice enough, because I wanted it to go from Joe's place directly to Mark's. For one, it took me out of the equation. I didn't want to take it back home and then mail it to Mark and then have them say I did something to the saw for Mark's results. So it went from, Joe was nice enough to ship it for me. It went from Joe pulled it stock, he shipped it to Mark. Mark pulled it stock, Mark did some test cuts, and he did some other data collection, I think on it too. And when I had it at Joe's, it had a 3/8 rim, because that's what Joe's dyno requires, is a 3/8 7-pin rim. And Mark's dyno also requires the same thing, so that worked out good. Mark's test cuts stock on this, I believe, was a full chisel. I think it was a 20-inch bar, 3/8 chain. And after he got his test cuts and his stock dyno pulls, and I think he got some other collective data off it, he then mailed this thing back to me. Well, not this all, the stock 261. I made the video discussing the cylinder, different mods, and I knew I was going to be getting rid of this saw. I knew Mark did not want a mega hot saw in there due to fear of maybe his dyno not being able to record up that high or something. So I'm like, well, I'm getting rid of the saw, so I'll just I wanted something that was rock steady, reliable. I wanted a good gain across the entire board for whoever gets the saw, because I want it to be enjoyable for them to run. I wanted it to be reliable, well-mannered, good on fuel, and so on. But the stock, the 261s, really seem shy on pull, I guess is what I would, they got that more husky feel. You kind of got to let them rev up to cut. And I knew I wanted more RPM than it had stock. And I did a low roof build on that, if I recall. I think it was 107, 106.5. It was either 106.5 or 107, depending on how you read the wheel. and I discussed my transfer theory, and if you go back a few videos in that, if you want to know how the saw was built, I discussed all sorts of my theories before I'd even built the saw, and then showed the test cuts after I ran it. I guess I should have ran it a little bit more, because the rings, come to find out, were not totally broke in, and the ported pulls on Mark's dyno and Joe's dyno actually show that the more the saw runs, the better it's getting. But that's partly my fault, and I don't have a time factor. I would have loved to went out and slayed firewood with it for 20 tanks or something, and then sent it out, and then I would have known the rings would have been for sure broke in. But such is life. I wanted to test percentages of gains versus one dyno to another, and I appreciate Mark and Joe going along. But I had Joe mail Mark the stock one. Mark mailed it to me. I ported it. I made you guys the videos. I test cut with it. I then mailed it straight back to Mark. Mark did his dyno pulls, more test cutting with the same exact barn chain, same piece of wood. The weather was colder, but he factors in weather correction factors, which whenever you do the math on that, it changes your cut times and that. Really like the fact that Mark's he's very involved with his data collecting, very serious. I can tell you, he takes what he's doing extremely serious, and I love that. I love shooting the shit with him. We've actually been talking quite a bit now. I can mention a theory to him, and he's still in his quest for trying to figure out how he wants to port, and it's awesome to be able to discuss a theory with him, because if he doesn't agree with it, he'll spit back. We'll bounce back and forth, and it's awesome. We can both grow as builders together that way. And he catches on quick. Don't let his videos fool you. He's smart as a whip. Really enjoy talking to him. I really enjoy talking to Joe too. Joe's super smart too. But then Mark did his testing on my 261 after porting, and then I didn't want it mailed back to me, because I didn't want somebody saying, "Oh, well, Mark's results were this," and then I tweaked with it and then took it back to Joe. I had Mark pull it and go right from Mark to Joe, so it took me completely out of the equation. The only thing I have in common with this saw between is I both like talking to both gentlemen, and I did the grinding. I did the muffler mod and the grinding on that 261, and it is still currently sitting at Joe's. He's already pulled it. I'm waiting for a coil for the FCO. I'm starting to wonder if I'm ever going to get it, because I ordered it off eBay. It said it was coming from Texas. I ordered that on the 25th. I still have not received it. It's been into Grand Rapids, then back out of Grand Rapids, and the next thing I know, it's in PA according to the tracking. And then I was supposed to get it Friday, didn't get it this Friday. It's back in Grand Rapids, and then it's about 5 o'clock in the morning right now on a Sunday, and I checked it again, and now it's in Kalamazoo, so I don't know what the hell's going on with my coil. Yay close to going down to the post office and letting them have it, but I'm trying to be forgiving. I'm assuming the mail shit's all screwed up from the holidays. We bought it around Thanksgiving, and then you got all the Black Friday crap, probably all the internet sales. I imagine the mail system's probably pretty overrun. Everybody trying to get their Christmas cards and Christmas crap out and all that. So the entire shipping industry is probably biting and pulling their hair and biting their nails off, all that stuff. But I will get back over to Joe's when I pull. I think I'm going to pull the FCO. I've got a 501 that has not been on the dyno, and I've been in it twice. I honestly don't know where it's sitting at, and I was thinking about selling that 501, and I thought you guys might want a dyno result if I do go to sell it. And when I get my 261 back, that will be for sale as well. I don't need it. I have this one, and I'm going to be, the money I get out of that 261, I'm just going to turn around These cases are absolutely beautiful on this saw. I need a crankshaft. I've got a new, I believe I've got a new piston thanks to Ryan at Wolf Creek Saw Shop. I believe, don't hold me to it, but I believe I've got a highway pop-up piston from Ryan at Wolf Creek Saw Shop that I'm going to be doing the similar build I did to this one, but trying to go a little hotter in that one to see the other end of the spectrum. And if Mark wants to, we might have him pull that one too, just for shits and giggles. Maybe I'll have Joe pull it again too, and we'll see how his dyno does on a, if he wants to. I felt bad enough that because I took up a bunch of his time plus shipping stuff, so I greatly appreciate it. Thanks a bunch, Mark. I really appreciate it. And the dyno results are in for that 261. Take in mind, I did not try to wring its neck. I did a work saw. No piston work. I did no piston work to that whatsoever. I wanted to show just what good mild porting would do. And I wanted it in auto tune, so it took tuning the carburetor. It took tuning the carb out for both sides. That way, Joe didn't have to tune the carburetor, and Mark didn't have to tune the carburetor, and neither one of them have to worry if there was a difference on the dyno. Was it the tunes? Joe ran his fuel. My test cuts, I ran my fuel, which I think was a 40-1. Joe ran his fuel, and Mark ran his fuel. I don't know what they ran for fuels. I didn't care, because once it's out of my hands, all that testing's, it's a done deal. It got sent out. But if you guys want to know the results on that other that mild built 261 that I showed the port work on, discussed my theories where I had Joe and Mark both pull them on two separate dynos, two independent dyno machines, two totally different style dynos, kinda. Mark's runs a hydraulic pump. Joe's runs a actual dynometer water brake. A brake's a brake. As far as that goes, for me, one runs hydraulic fluid, one runs water. The data is what I was concerned about. But if you guys want to know the results, you're going to have to jump over to Mark's channel, which is Hay Chaft and Sawdust. I will put a link in the bottom of this. Mark has Joe's results, his results, and Mark also has his test cuts results. And I think you guys are going to find the results very interesting. I highly recommend that you both give Dino Joe and Hay Chaft and Sawdust a like, a comment, and subscribe. Go over there, show them the love. I imagine if you guys don't like me, you're still going to go over there for curiosity just to see what the saw made. If you like me, you probably go over there, see what the saw made. If you're just curious what mild port work does to a 261, you probably go over there and see what's going on. I appreciate it. Go show those channels some love. I feel very uncomfortable being on camera this way. Also, give me some feedback if you want to see more of me in front of the camera, or if you want, I will probably still always produce my normal style content. I've come a long way with just setting you guys in my pocket and getting videos. Lord knows we've had some viewers donate some tripods. Those that have watched the channel know that I've had some logs steamroll over some tripods that were sent to the channel. We're still rocking one that was donated to the channel. It's a little beat up, but it's still functioning, and I don't care. I don't have to have nice looking equipment to make you guys footage. But let me know if you like this style of footage. And I'm running some ideas through my head. I've got one of my tips and tricks videos has done really well. It's probably one of my highest viewed long form videos, which I don't understand why that one. There's probably 6 or 7 tips and tricks videos out there. I haven't figured out how to. I'm hoping my buddy can get in there and figure out how to do a playlist and put them all in a playlist, and maybe that higher viewed one that's still getting traction today, maybe it'll pop up another one. So some of the other ones, not all the tips and tricks cover this, might be 6 different videos, but they cover a bunch of different topics, and some of the topics overlap. I know I made one where I was really getting involved in it, and the camera ran out of mojo or whatever, and I've yet to ever dive back into that. But I like talking about my, once again, it's just theories. It's, my theories might not be right. I'm just letting you guys know what's going on in here, what I'm trying to accomplish in the feel of the hands and on the dyno and test cuts and all that. And some of you guys find that content interesting. Some of you find it lame. I can't please everybody, but I do try to be as real as I can. Those that talk to me in person, that other than camera, I'm pretty much the same way I am on camera, other than I probably cuss like a sailor. I do try to keep swearing down to a minimum on my channel, just because you never know who's watching. Somebody that I try to keep religion, politics, and swearing off the channel, because if you don't mind swearing, you're not going to get offended if I swear or if I don't swear. If someone don't like swearing, they're obviously not going to like it. Same with if I like a certain political something or another, if I try to stay neutral on here. Those that know me know my beliefs, and I don't hold anything against anybody. That's your right to believe in what you want to believe, and just like if you don't like my channel, that's your right. But if you don't like my channel and you're leaving crummy comments, I will boot the comments, just because I don't want to see it. And I don't think 90% of my viewers want to see crummy comments. I really have a good time interacting with you guys. Like I said, I use YouTube like a therapy, and I have met some absolutely amazing people through YouTube. Some I've met in person, some I've only talked to on the phone or Facebook Messenger. I get messages all the time from you viewers, and I enjoy it. I get asked pointers, I get sent videos, I get sent pictures of my port work. What do you think? I get sent questions. Well, what do you think about so and so? And some I try to answer the best I can. Some of them I've never built that saw, so I don't know. Every saw tends to like a different formula or a different style of porting. You can have 100 different chainsaws and stuff that same formula in there, and you're going to have 100 different results. That's just how that goes. Some saws like certain things better than others. But I think I've blibber-blabbered on here enough. So once again, go check out Haychaft and Sawdust, and check out Dino Joe. Joe had a lot going on. I didn't film any of it on the dyno. Joe didn't film any of it, but he gave pretty much me and Mark permission to share his results on the dyno too, and I think you guys will find it very interesting. I'm very pleased for a mild saw. I'm very pleased with the outcome on that. I was after a certain set of parameters. I was able to deliver it. I was able to deliver exactly what Mark was looking for, and we all know Joe's dyno. I've put some pretty sporty stuff on there, so I wasn't too concerned about that. But I think it all come out good, and I think Mark has made an excellent video, and I highly recommend going and checking it out. And I think that concludes me on this video. So you guys take it easy. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Do you guys this YouTube thing. Give me thumbs up, give me comments, let me know how you like this format. And I greatly appreciate every one of you. So you guys take it easy, and have a good one.